Okay, YouTube, I'm going to make a quick video here. I have a Sealand Vacuflush system here. I have a pump that was giving me a hard time. It actually was seized. So what happened was the electric motor here wasn't spinning, which means the plunger wasn't going up and down and creating pressure. I recently changed the duckbill valves. I don't know if you can see them in there, but they're right inside here. This one has 4 duckbill valves. There's one here, another one here, and then there's 2 in here, one here, one here, and they're all with the arrows that way, so they're opening and closing, creating vacuum. This is the inlet where it's sucking in. But what happened was the electric motor wasn't turning, it wasn't spinning. So I thought, hey, it's broken already. What can I do? I'll take it apart and see what we can do. If not, I have to buy another one. So I started by removing the center bolt here, took them all off, and there's 4 bolts that actually hold the electric motor on. And then I pulled this whole unit right off. Once I pulled that unit off, I then removed these 3 bolts. Behind that 3 bolts is a gear covered in grease, and then this whole unit comes right off. Once I took this whole unit off, I removed these 2 bolts, and the top part comes off. Then you have the magnetic section in here with the brass spinner part that creates the rotation motion that makes the electric motor work. It was kind of corroded, so what I did was wire wheeled all the brass fittings inside, all the brass inside there. I cleaned this barrel also with a wire wheel. This has a very small, what do you call it, a bearing up on the top. And the bearing was also seized. So all I did was I held the center brass pieces with a pair of pliers and turned the bearing back and forth with a little bit of oil and grease. And sure enough, it works. So put everything back together again, getting perfect vacuum. This is the pressure switch that tells you when you have enough vacuum, it shuts off. So don't be scared to try this stuff at home, guys. It's not as hard as you think it is. Mind you, anytime you're dealing with the sanitary part of the boat, you want to try and flush as much fresh water down there as possible. And if not, use rubber gloves, because you know this is all gray water stuff here, and try not to get sprayed. Once you're done, make sure you try and clean all your connectors. Once the unit is out, all the connectors, try and put new connectors on if you have to, you know. And do not mess with this pressure switch. They come preset from the factory, so don't try and start messing around with the spring and adjusting it. They're pretty straightforward. It gets to a certain degree, and this sucks in and it shuts off with the pressure switch here. So it's pretty straightforward, guys. Don't think that it's overly hard to do. It's pretty straightforward. It's not difficult. If you ever have an issue with these Vacuflush pumps, inside here there's also a plunger, and that sometimes cracks and you will not get vacuum. So if you have your whole unit out like I do, take everything apart, inspect it, have a look at it, and if all looks well, put it all back in. Good luck, guys. Until the next one.